My child, still your heart for a moment, as I step directly into the center of everything that has been pulling at your mind, weighing on your emotions, and draining your spirit. I am breaking through the noise around you, the racing thoughts, the hidden burdens that grow heavier with each passing day, because I am interrupting your life on purpose. I am not here first to comfort you, though comfort will come. I am here to warn you, to protect you, and to stop you before you step into something that could wound you far more deeply than you can imagine. You may not understand why I am speaking with such urgency, but heaven understands. Heaven sees what your eyes cannot, and that is why I have come. This message is not random. You are not reading these words by accident. This encounter was arranged, woven into time long before you knew you needed it. You were pulled here because I pulled you here. You may think you were scrolling, searching, wandering, but I guided your steps to this moment. I guided your thoughts, your curiosity, your need for answers. You arrived here because heaven opened a path that led directly to these words. I brought you here because there is something ahead of you that I cannot allow you to face alone. I am trying to protect you, even if you think I am wrong right now, even if part of your heart resists me, even if you feel confused about what I am doing, even if you feel like I am asking you to walk away from something you wanted, even if my protection feels like loss to you in this moment, it is love. It has always been love. My child, I need you to stay here with me. I need you not to look away, not to push this aside, not to silence the feeling you have right now in your spirit. I need you to listen not lightly, not casually, but with your whole heart. Because what I am about to say is meant to save you from heartbreak you do not see coming, from confusion that would break your spirit, from danger your eyes cannot detect. You have been asking for clarity, but clarity cannot come unless you pause here long enough to hear me. You have been praying for answers, but answers cannot reach you if you run from the very moment I created to give them. You have cried out for protection, but protection requires attention. So stay, do not turn away. I speak now not only as your Savior, but as your Father, who sees the road you are about to walk, who sees the intentions of people you trust, who sees the traps the enemy has laid, who sees the wounds forming before they reach your heart. I see what you do not. I see what you cannot. And that is why my voice sounds urgent now. Why does my tone carry weight? Why is there a trembling in these words that your spirit can feel? I am not warning you to control you. I am warning you because I love you. I am warning you because you matter to me. I am warning you because the enemy has been working quietly, trying to lure you into something that looks harmless at first, but carries deep destruction beneath the surface. You think you know what is coming, but you don't. You think you can handle what lies ahead, but you cannot see the whole picture. There is a step you are about to take that would break you in ways you cannot fully understand. There is a person, an opportunity, a choice, a door, a path, a moment that seems good, seems right, seems safe to your natural eyes. But I see the hidden cost. I see the unseen consequences. I see the heartbreak that would follow. And because I love you, I will not stay silent. Because I love you, I will not let you walk blindly into a fire that you think is light. My child, you do not need to fear my warning. You need to honor it. For my warning is not punishment, it is protection. My interruption is not rejection, it is a rescue. When I step into your path with urgency, it is because I see something ahead that I refuse to let touch you. I cannot force you to obey me. I cannot force you to listen. But I can plead with you, and I am doing that now. Stay, listen. Let my words sink deeper than your doubts. Let them reach beyond your questions. Let them settle into the parts of your soul that you try to silence. You think my hand has been holding you back, but I have been holding you together. You think I've been withholding something from you, but I've been shielding you from a tragedy that would have wounded you far beyond this moment. There is more danger in the things you desire than you can see. There is more blessing in the things I delay than you realize. and there is more safety in my no's than in every yes you try to force on your own. I know you have felt frustration. I know you have wondered why I closed certain doors. I know you have questioned why certain relationships, certain dreams, certain plans didn't go the way you hope. You blamed yourself. You blamed others. Some days you even blamed me. But what you didn't know, what you couldn't have known, is that I was standing between you and something that would have crushed you. I was blocking the disaster. I was stopping heartbreak. I was rearranging your path so that your future would not collapse beneath the weight of a wrong choice. Type Lord. Break every chain in me if you're ready for His freedom. Do not misunderstand my heart. Beloved, I do not warn you because I fear you will choose wrong. I warn you because I know how deeply you feel, how quickly you trust, how easily you love, how deeply you hope, and how greatly you can be hurt when those hopes fall apart. I am not trying to ruin your plans. I am trying to save your soul from wounds you were never meant to carry. I am trying my best to protect you from a huge tragedy, even if right now you feel like I am taking something from you, even if it feels unfair, even if you think I am wrong. One day you will see. One day you will understand. One day you will look back on this moment and say, and quote, "You saved me. I didn't see it, but you did." And quote, "Stay still, my child. Do not rush ahead of me. Do not push past my warnings. Do not run toward what I am pulling you away from." My voice trembles now, not because I am angry, but because I am desperate for you to choose life. There are moments in your journey where my words become shields. This is one of those moments. What I say next will protect you if you receive it. What I reveal will save you from unnecessary sorrow. What I instruct will lead you away from danger and into destiny. But only if you listen, only if you let my words lead. Right now, in this very moment, I am raising a shield over your life. You may not feel it, but heaven does. Angels feel the shift. The enemy feels the block. Darkness feels like a barrier. My word is covering you. My voice is surrounding you. My presence is standing before you like a wall of fire. I am guarding you because you are precious to me. So listen closely, my child. I am trying my best to protect you. Even if you think I'm wrong right now, my child, listen closely, because what I am about to reveal is something you could never understand on your own. There are dangers surrounding you that your natural eyes cannot see. There are paths that look bright but end in darkness. There are relationships that feel comforting in the beginning but carry wounds hidden beneath the surface. There are decisions that seem harmless, even exciting, but would pull you far from who you are meant to become. You see the surface, but I see the depths. You see the beginning, but I see the ending. You see the smile, the opportunity, the invitation, but I see the hidden motives, the spiritual traps, the consequences that would break you in ways you are not meant to break. That is why I speak with such urgency today. That is why I interrupt your path, because you are walking closer than you know to something that is not from me. There are traps, my child. Silent traps, emotional traps, spiritual traps, set by the enemy in shapes that look safe. He does not always come with darkness. Sometimes he comes wrapped in beauty. He does not always come with fear. Sometimes he comes with excitement. He does not always come with threats. Sometimes he comes with comfort and false peace. He packages danger as destiny, hoping you will run toward it without hesitation. He hides destruction behind the appearance of opportunity. He hides heartbreak behind familiar voices. He disguises deception within promises that sound like everything you ever hoped for. That is why discernment is so important. That is why my voice matters more than your feelings. You have been confused about why some things didn't work out, why some people left, why some plans fell apart, why some opportunities closed just when you thought they were opening. You wondered if you were being punitive. You wondered if you lacked faith. You wondered if you did something wrong. You even wondered if I failed you. But hear me now. I did not close those doors to hurt you. I closed them to save you. Every no, every ending, every disruption, every loss was not rejection, but protection. You thought I was saying no because I didn't care, but I was saying no because I saw what you couldn't see. You don't know what I prevented. You don't know what you were walking into. You don't know what the enemy planned on the other side of that decision. You don't know how deeply certain relationships would have scarred you. You don't know the betrayals I stopped you from experiencing. You don't know the sleepless nights I spared you from. You don't know the tears I saved you from shedding. You don't know how close you were to losing yourself in something that looked good on the surface but carried poison in its roots. You thought it was love, but it was a lesson. You thought it was a blessing, but it was a trap. You thought it was a breakthrough, but it was bait. Please support our channel. Our work is dedicated to bringing joy, peace, and devotion to God into your life. If you wish, you can show your love and support by donating through Super Thanks. My child, you cannot see the whole picture, but I can. That is why I blocked certain people from staying in your life. They were not meant for your heart. They were not aligned with your future. Their intentions were not pure toward you. Their presence would have drained you, damaged you, or diverted you from your purpose. A door had to close. A chapter had to end. They heard you, but it saved you. There were opportunities that you thought were perfect jobs, connections, plans, but they were not designed for your destiny. You would have been surrounded by the wrong voices, pressured into the wrong choices, influenced by the wrong spirits. You would have survived but not thrived. You would have walked in circles thinking you were moving forward. That ending was not a failure, it was mercy. There were moments when everything stopped suddenly. Conversations cut short, plans changing last minute, meetings delayed, unexpected disruptions. You thought it was a coincidence. You thought it was frustration, but it was me. I intervened. I blocked something. You were about to walk into a conversation that would have harmed your heart. You were about to take a step into a room that was not safe spiritually. You were about to say yes to something that would have become a burden you were never meant to carry. I rearranged your steps to protect your future. I redirected you to save your destiny. You see, my child, protection does not always look like peace. Sometimes it looks like disappointment. Sometimes it looks like something falling apart. Sometimes it looks like loneliness, isolation, or unexpected endings. But every ending from me is an escape from something that would have harmed you. Every delay is a shield. Every change is a barrier lifted between you and danger. You ask me for miracles, but sometimes the miracle is the thing I stop, not the thing I allow. The enemy works through appearance. He knows how easily the human heart is drawn to what feels familiar, comforting, exciting, or desirable. He paints traps with beautiful colors. He uses flattery, passion, timing, and opportunity to create illusions. He whispers and quote, "This is what you prayed for," even when it is the opposite of what I promised you, and quote, "He tries to rush you so you cannot hear my voice. He tries to distract you so you cannot sense my warning. He tries to convince you that you are missing out so that you move without discernment. But I am raising my voice now because I cannot allow you to be deceived. I cannot allow you to walk blindly into what was designed to destroy you. I cannot allow the enemy to pull you away from the path I prepared for you. You belong to me. I laid down my life for you. I will not stand by silently while danger approaches. And if that means blocking what you want, I will do it. If it means closing doors before you step through them, I will do it. If it means ending relationships you prayed would last, I will do it. If it means stripping things from your hands so they cannot take your heart, I will do it. This is why obedience is protection. You think obedience is about rules. It's not. Obedience is about survival. Obedience is safety. Obedience is wisdom. Obedience is how you stay under my covering. When you obey me quickly, I can protect you fully. When you delay, you step into the battlefield without armor. When you ignore my warnings, you invite battles you were never meant to fight. My beloved child, hear me clearly now. I am not trying to ruin your life. I am trying to rescue it. I am not trying to take away your joy. I am trying to stop this tragedy. I am not trying to deny you love, opportunity, or blessing. I am trying to protect your heart, your spirit, and your future. Every boundary I place is love. Every warning I give is love. Every delay I allow is love. Even if it feels painful now, even if you don't understand, even if it seems unfair, one day you will look back and say, "Thank you for saving me from what I thought I wanted." Stay close to me. Trust me, even when it hurts. Listen to my voice above every other voice. I see the danger. I see the traps. I see what is coming. And I am protecting you because you are mine. My child, let your heart become still for a moment. Because what I am about to reveal will touch a place inside you that has been hurting for a long time. You have walked through seasons where you felt as though everything was being taken from you. You watched doors close before you could step through them. You saw people leave you without warning. You felt opportunities slip from your hands like water you could not grasp, no matter how tightly you tried to hold on. Each time it happened, your heart asked the same question. Lord, where were you? Why did you not stop this? Why did you let me feel this pain? And today I answer you with the depth of truth and love that your soul has been waiting to hear. My child, I was there. Not far away, not distant, not silent. I was standing between you and destruction. You cried, thinking I abandoned you, but I never left your side. You thought my silence was rejection, but it was protection. You believed my delay meant forgetfulness, but it meant that I was shielding you from something you could not see. You looked at the pieces of your heart scattered on the floor and wondered why I allowed the break. But my beloved, had I not allowed the painful separation, you would have walked into a heartbreak far deeper, darker, and more permanent than anything you have ever known. The pain you felt was real, but what it saved you from was far greater. You prayed for blessings with a sincere heart. You asked me for things you thought would bring joy, stability, and direction. You begged me for certain relationships to work, for certain doors to open, for certain paths to clear's throat stay clear, but you did not know what was hiding behind them. You did not know what I saw. You did not know that the place you asked me to lead you would have drained you. You did not know that the person you prayed I would let stay in your life was carrying wounds and intentions that would have infected your spirit. You did not know that the opportunity you wanted so desperately was wrapped in the enemy's bait, designed to look like destiny but intended to bring you into deep spiritual bondage. So yes, my child, sometimes my answer was no. Sometimes my answer was a closed door. Sometimes my answer was silence. And sometimes my answer was removal. Not because I wanted you to suffer, but because I wanted you to survive. There were moments when you thought I was punishing you, but I was delivering you. There were seasons when you thought everything was falling apart, but in truth, everything was being rearranged. You asked me for blessing, but you did not realize that blessing often begins with separation. You asked me for growth, but you did not realize that growth often begins with loss. You asked me for alignment, but you did not realize that alignment often begins with isolation. There is a difference between what you wanted and what you needed, and my love always chooses what protects you over what pleases you. Sometimes I let you hurt, not because I delight in your pain, but because pain can become the only barrier strong enough to keep you from running toward a greater heartbreak. You do not yet understand how close you came to something that would have destroyed pieces of you that you cannot afford to lose. You do not know how close the enemy came to convincing you that something was good simply because it felt good at the beginning. You do not know how close you were to accepting less than what I created you for. Pain slowed you down. Pain forced you to stop. Pain makes you cautious. Pain made you seek me. Pain awakened you to truths you would have ignored if everything had felt easy and comfortable. Say, and quote, Jesus, I cling to you if he's the anchor of your soul. My child, I saw when your heart shattered, but I also saw what would have happened if it hadn't. I saw the betrayal long before you sensed the shift. I saw the danger while you only saw the illusion. I saw how deeply you would have been wounded if I had let you keep what you begged me to preserve. What you thought was my absence was actually my covering. What you thought was my silence was actually my shield. What you thought was my rejection was actually my rescue. You asked me, and quote, Lord, if you love me, why does this hurt? And quote, and I answer you now, and quote, because the pain of temporary loss is nothing compared to the pain of long-term destruction. If I had let you stay in places you had outgrown, you would have shrunk yourself to fit into spaces too small for your calling. If I had let certain people stay, they would have drained the life from your spirit until you lost yourself completely. If I had answered every prayer in the way you requested, it would have taken you far from the future I designed for you since the beginning of time. My child, listen to me. I know how much it hurts. I know how long you cried. I know how deeply you questioned everything about yourself as you watched things crumble that you tried so hard to hold together. But not one tear you shed was wasted. Not one night of sorrow was ignored. Not one moment of confusion was overlooked. I collected each tear as a seed, and in its place I am growing something that will heal you, restore you, and strengthen you in ways you cannot yet comprehend. You have misunderstood my protection because it came wrapped in pain. But love does not always look like comfort. Sometimes love looks like intervention. Sometimes love looks like an interruption. Sometimes love looks like taking away what you begged me to let you keep. Sometimes love looks like breaking what you were building because the foundation beneath it was unstable. Sometimes love looks like pushing you out of what was familiar because the familiar was slowly destroying you. There are battles you never saw because I fought them for you. There were traps you never stepped into because I redirected your path. There were conversations about you that never reached your ears because I silenced them. There were betrayals planned against you that never manifested because I dismantled them. You did not see the spiritual warfare surrounding your life, but I did, and every painful moment you survived was actually proof of my intervention. Imagine, my child, if I had answered every prayer the moment you prayed it. Imagine if I had given you the relationship you cried for, even though it was shaped by manipulation and emotional instability. Imagine if I had given you the opportunity you chased, even though it would have entangled you in toxic environments that would have drained your spirit. Imagine if I had allowed you to stay connected to people whose hearts were never aligned with yours. You have no idea how much peace you would have lost. You have no idea how much of your identity would have been damaged. You have no idea how much of your future would have been stolen. Do you see it now? Do you feel my heart behind my decisions? I did not let pain touch you to break you. I let pain touch you to wake you. You needed to see the truth. You needed to recognize who was real and who was not. You needed to understand that your worth was not tied to what you lost. You needed to grow in discernment. You needed to learn to recognize the enemy's voice disguised as desire. You need to see that your destiny cannot be a debt to people or places that lack the capacity to carry it. My beloved, your pain was never punishment. It was protection wrapped in discomfort. It was mercy disguised as loss. It was love doing what love must do when the beloved is walking toward danger they cannot perceive. And now hear my final words in this section, spoken with the tenderness of a father who has watched his child cry in the night. What you thought I destroyed, I protected you from. What you thought I withheld, I replaced with something better. What you thought I ended, I rescued you out of. You lost nothing that was meant to stay, and everything you lost that was truly yours will return in a form far greater than what was taken. There comes a moment in a soul's journey when the veil must lift, and what has always been hidden must finally come into view. This is that moment for the one reading now, the moment when the unseen becomes the truth they can no longer ignore. For while they walked through their days believing they were merely tired, stressed, emotional, or overwhelmed, there was a war being fought around them. An ancient war, a silent war, a war that had nothing to do with the physical world and everything to do with the spirit inside them. If they had eyes to see what truly surrounded their life, they would fall to their knees in awe. Because everywhere they thought they were simply struggling, simply confused, simply unlucky, there were working forces that wanted their destruction and forces fighting fiercely to protect them. Every wave of resistance, every sudden heaviness, every unexpected chaos that crashed against their life was not a coincidence. It was warfare. There were nights when fear wrapped around their chest, and they thought it was only anxiety. They didn't know it was an arrow aimed at their purpose, a spiritual attack cloaked in emotion. They didn't know that before that fear reached them, a shield had been lifted over their heart by the one who watches over them without sleep. They didn't know that darkness had been put back again and again by an unseated hand. They didn't know that when they woke up exhausted, it wasn't because they were weak. It was because their spirit had been fought for while they slept. There are forces on this earth that want nothing more than to see a soul fall, break, and give up. Forces that whisper lies into their thoughts. Forces that stir confusion. Forces that attach heaviness to their days, hoping they'll sink beneath it. These are not random feelings. These are not ordinary emotions. These are the marks of warfare on a chosen life. But if they could see the other side, the light that surrounds them, the strength that covers them, the protection that has wrapped their path again and again, they would understand that their survival is not an accident. They are standing here reading these words because someone greater stood between them and destruction. There were battles they never saw, fought in places they never entered, won in realms they never understood. And every one of those victories was for them. There were times when nothing made sense. Doors closing, relationships breaking, opportunities falling apart. They thought they were losing. They thought life was unfair. They thought the ground beneath them was giving way. But behind the scenes, a hand moved with precision, shifting events like pieces on a board. What looked like loss in the natural was victory in the spiritual. What felt like rejection was protection. What felt like confusion was the reordering of their destiny. If they only knew how many times danger came near, only to be stopped before it touched them. How many traps were set in their path, only to be revealed and removed before they arrived. How many words were spoken against them that never took root because heaven refused to let them settle. How many attacks were planned but never executed because a greater power intervened. The one reading this has no idea how many storms were diverted, how many accidents were prevented, how many unseen hands were pulled away from their life. They didn't see the spiritual ambushes forming behind them. I didn't sense the evil that circled them in moments they felt alone. They didn't know that every time they felt suddenly uneasy or restless, it was their spirit sensing something their eyes could not. And every time they felt that invisible heaviness, there was a war waged in the invisible realm. They don't know that at times when they felt their hope slipping, an army stood around them, holding the line, refusing to let the darkness consume them. They don't know that the strength they thought was theirs was actually borrowed strength. Strength poured into them by the one who knew the battles would be too heavy for their shoulders. Every moment they wanted to give up, with the exact moment something dark tried to break through, but it didn't. Not because they were strong enough, but because heaven refused to let them fall. There were forces fighting for their destruction, but greater forces fighting for their protection. And the greatest of these stood at the front of every battle on their behalf. This is why they survived things that should have destroyed them. This is why their minds bent but didn't break. This is why their hearts cracked but didn't stay shattered. This is why they lost everything at one point, but still found a reason to keep moving. They thought they were fighting alone, but they were never alone. Every tear they cried was seen. Every night they felt abandoned. Divine presence wrapped around them like a shield. Every time they collapsed in exhaustion, heaven fought while they rested. They do not know the battles fought over their life, but their survival speaks the truth. Someone was fighting for them, and that someone did not let a single attack go unanswered. Letwin. The darkness pushed, but light pushed harder. The enemy spoke, but the truth spoke louder. Chaos tried to invade, but peace stood in its way. Fear tried to seize their mind, but strength rose like a wall around their thoughts. Every time they thought things were spiraling, something invisible steadied them. Every time depression tried to drown them, something lifted their head above the waters. Every time loneliness tried to swallow them, something whispered comfort in the quiet. And every time they felt completely alone, a presence they couldn't fully recognize was sitting beside them, watching, shielding, protecting, fighting. They think their pain proves they were abandoned, but their survival proves they were carried. The warfare around their life has been fierce because their purpose is great. The attacks were intense because their future threatened darkness. The resistance was heavy because their destiny carries weight in the spiritual realm. The enemy does not wage war against the empty or the insignificant. He wages war against the chosen, and they are chosen. If the veil were lifted for even one moment, just one, they would see how many weapons were aimed at them that never touched them. They would see how many storms were forming that never reached them. They would see how many arrows were fired that never pierced them. They would see how many plots were designed against them, but dissolved before they took shape. They would see a line of light around their life that darkness is not allowed to cross. Your life has not been easy because the war around them has not been small. But the victories they never saw are far greater than the battles they felt. Every day they wake up is proof. Every breath they take is proof. Every choice to keep going is proof. Every moment of resilience is proof. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof. Proof that they are still here because a stronger hand held them up when they should have fallen. Proof that protection surrounded them even when they did feel it. Proof that they were never out of sight, never out of reach, never out of the grip of grace. Their survival is not a chance. It is not luck. It is not a coincidence. It is the evidence that a mighty hand fought what they could not fight. It is the evidence that they were worth protecting. It is the evidence that heaven refused to lose them. And if they only knew how fiercely they have been defended, they would never doubt again that unseen love has been guarding them every step of the way. There are seasons in every life when heaven grows quiet, not because love has faded, not because protection has weakened, not because prayers have been ignored, but because something sacred is happening behind the scenes. Something so delicate, so precise, so deeply intentional that even a whisper could disrupt its shaping. And the one reading now has lived through such a season, walking through days that felt painfully quiet, nights where their prayer seemed to fall into an endless void. They wondered if the silence meant abandonment, if the lack of answers meant they had been forgotten. They wondered if heaven had closed its doors on them. But what they did not know, what they could not know, was that silence was never absent. Silence was strategy. Write God, light my path if you need His direction right now, and share this video.